I've been looking forward to this all day. I just came in from doing about 3 hours of post-church yard work, which was great. Actually, the weather's been sort of in that transition between summer and fall. So a nice little breeze, not too hot out. Thoroughly enjoyed it, but I have been thinking all day about how excited I am to wrap up this series today, our States versus States series, completely blind. I don't know what has been submitted. I don't know what states they've been submitted from, but we have done a series of videos making eliminations and cuts, and we are now at the final round, and I'm very much anxious to dive into these 4 pours behind me for the final round and see which state will take the gold. All of these in my book at this point are winners of sorts, just for making it this far. But I will definitely be picking a favorite today. And the winner will be receiving a custom-etched glass, Dramguard glass, for your submission and for your contribution. Thank you to everybody who provided samples for the series, and a big shout out to my, our Patreon group that set this whole thing up and organized and orchestrated all of the ins and outs of it. So, without any further ado, let's dive into these wonderful whiskeys. I'm gonna get my notebook out so I can take tasting notes. So again, my wife poured these samples, so I don't know whose samples are even represented here. In addition to that, I have also went ahead and texted one of the guys who's holding the spreadsheet, the answer key, and just told him, be on standby, because I'm gonna record the finale. I specifically told him, I said, don't send it to me yet. So I don't have it yet. Let's kick things off here with glass A. There's a definite chocolatey note going on here. I'm pretty sure I remember this particular pour from the previous video. I think this is, I could be wrong, because this is my first pour of the day, but it is giving me those same vibes that we got on one of the pours that made it through the last video, which was giving us the cocoa powder and the mocha latte kind of a vibe. And I say cocoa powder specifically because there is that sort of like that dry powdery kind of a vibe coming through, not like your chocolate pudding, you know what I'm saying? There is a difference there, right? The way that a powder noses versus a more liquidy substance. But it's also giving me like marbled sweet bread notes as well. You know, when you get like the swirl of the dark and the white battered bread that's meant to be a bit of a snack or dessert bread. It's kind of like that too. Well, let's try it. Cheers. Yeah, honestly, it's delicious. It's like a hot cocoa powder with the little marshmallows. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of evocative of those same notes when you rip the package open of, what is it, Swiss Miss, and there's the powdered chocolate cocoa in there, and the little dehydrated. Well, I suppose all marshmallows are dehydrated, but they're really like the dry, crunchy, almost like a Lucky Charms style marshmallows in there. It's like that. There's honestly nothing to dislike about this. It's not a very high proof, I don't think. It's got some manners. It's coming at me with some kid gloves, which depending on the whiskey can be a very good thing. You don't want, sometimes when you elevate the proof point, that's not always a better thing. And I feel like the powdery cocoa would probably get swallowed up by those malty notes if you were to elevate the proof on this. So I think that they did a good job keeping this at a lower proof point to allow that cocoa powdery note to really shine through. Quite good. Quite good. Let's move on to glass B. Okay. A little bit darker in color. The nose is profoundly different. It's pretty grain forward on the nose. It reminds me a lot of like Midwest style whiskeys. It's like walking into a barn during the autumn season, and there's like those dust particulates. There's loose grain kind of laying around in the corners of the barn. It's a lot like that. I also get this like sweet old-timey candy kind of a vibe. You know, back when hard candies really did just taste like corn syrup that solidified with a little bit of flavor in there, some extra quality. It's kind of like that. Very interesting nose. I like it a lot. Let's give it a shot. Cheers. I get a lot of sweet oak right up front. Like some sweet barrel influence. A little bit of that vanilla from the vanillins that have been breaking down inside the outer layers of the oak. That red layer stuff. Great. And then you get that wave of grain. It really is like unmalted, loose, hard grain, followed by a really nice pepper wave. I really like that pepper wave. Kind of brings things around full circles to end on that old-timey candy note. So we had the sweet vanillins up front. We got the grain and this pepper wave, and it brings us all the way back around to these sweet notes on the finish. That does make me think of that old-timey corn syrupy candy. Interesting. compelling. Trying to dial in like regionally where this might be from. My initial impression was I get Midwest vibes. The more I sip on it, the more I think like Appalachian area, like Tennessee. Very interesting. Let's move on. Here we go, Glass C. Hey-oh. Whoa. It smells like mead on the nose. Like raspberries and blackberries and honey. Big and bold, very assertive nose. That's quite interesting. And then I get hints of like, I don't know if I want to say like bran flakes as well. Beautiful nose. I like that a lot. Well, let's just get right. Ooh, it is kind of viscous too. I'm looking at it running down the side of the glass. Love that. Let's try it. Cheers. That's a raisin bomb. And then that like multi-brand cereal kind of a vibe comes around too on the tail end of that raisin. It's quite pleasing. I like this quite a bit. Very fruit forward. It's like a raisin nut bran in a glass. I love raisin nut bran, so that is not a bad thing. I'm pretty sure we got that exact same note, so I like to be consistent. That's a good sign. But I'm pretty sure we got that exact same note in the last video on one of the ones that made it forward. I mean, that's like crushable. It's got a little bit of like a bassy richness to it as well, you know? It's got some heft. Yummy. Finally, Glass D. Ooh. Oh, I like that. Well, the last one was like super in your face with its fruitiness. This one has a fruitiness that is, it's trying to be the co-star, not the star, not the sole performer, right? This has it's more like a sitcom that's got a full cast of characters, not just like here's the front man and then everyone else is subordinate to them. This is more like you got a full cast of characters. They're all kind of the main core characters going on, interplaying with one another here. There's a softer fruitiness that I'm really appreciating. I'm also getting like a nice cinnamon bread. Maybe like coffee cake, you know, a little bit of that streusel on top. Or you get that baked breadiness. You get that cinnamon. You get that sugary sweetness. A little bit of that streusel, brown sugar, those sorts of qualities. And a little bit of this peppery oak in there too, which I like. I'm very anxious to try this one. Cheers. That's delightful. Cherry comes through bright and clear on the mid palate. And I don't know if this is like an experimental mash bill kind of a thing. You know, a grain that's not a standard one. Maybe it's a mixed mash bill where you've got, it's not just like yellow dent corn. Like this could be one of those things where it's, you know, pumpernickel or there's oats in there, something like that going on. But it's compelling. There is that grain forward aspect to it that I'm really appreciating. That isn't it's your non-standard grain profile. But that bright cherry keeps it grounded. Makes me like feel like I'm in Kentucky bourbon territory, but we're deviating from the standard and getting a little creative with it. That coffee cake note comes around late in the palate, stretches into the finish where we get the cinnamons, we get a little bit of that brown sugar, we get a little bit of that breadiness, and I really like that. Keeps it well-rounded. It's a nice full experience of a sip, far from being a monotone sip. This to me has great balance. I think that's important. You don't want something that's a really monochromatic sort of experience where it's just one note, swallows everything up. This feels to me like a distillery that's had some time to refine their offering. All right. Okay, at this point, I'm going to go sit down and go through this lineup one more time, retaste them, refine my rankings, and we will pick a clear winner. Sound good? Give me just a second to do that. It took some serious deliberating. I narrowed it down to my top two. Like I said, I liked all these quite a bit, or else they wouldn't have made it this far. I think my top two were glasses C and D today, but the one that I think is going to take the gold for this whole series is going to be pour D today. The last one we just tasted. The only thing that gave it an edge on Glass C was that it had more balance and a better sort of supporting cast of characters. Well, I felt like Glass C was delicious, but it was really heavy on that like raisin and bran cereal note, which I love that note. But I think that the balance of the sip that we got out of Glass D was just enough to give it a little bit of an edge there. And with that, let me text Greg and find out what these have been. He sent me the link. I'm asking him if he wants to know what my top two were before I open this up. Or if he wants no spoilers. All right. I told him my top two. Let's open this up. All right, I'm actually going to open this on my computer so it's easier to read. So the two that did not make the top two but made it to... So, okay. Here's the lineup for today. Would have been Mystery 3 was the first glass, which was from Trevor, who sent in Haynard Distilling. Haynard Distilling. Have I ever had this before? It's from Ohio. So this is Ohio, made it in the top 4. 90 proof. We did say it was a lower proof point. Let some other things shine through. Like that cocoa powder and the marbled sweet bread. That was pretty good. I don't know that I've ever had anything from... Have I had anything from Hainer before on the channel? I don't know that I have. Thanks, Trevor. That was delicious. The second one we tried was... this was the Bourbon Lore from Ben Holiday. So Ben Holiday, Bourbon Lore did that like special blend that they did or whatever. That was really good. Really, that was the Bourbon Lore bottle. Man, that tastes different than I think I remember. I think I offered very different notes last time I tried that bottle. And then Mystery 1 was Glass C. Mystery 1 would have been from Mr. Weeks. That's a Frey Ranch, really. I actually really liked it. But 100% wheat. But it's got this... Where's the raisin note coming from? And the honey. Was it finished in something? I don't know. And then our winner was actually JT Melik. I wasn't even on my radar, actually. I wasn't even thinking about JT Melik. But holy cow, that is a bomb of a whiskey. Single barrel cask strength at 119 proof was the winner. Man, is that sip so good. It is just straight fire. Dynamite sip. So the Frey Ranch was a single barrel, single grain series, 100% wheat whiskey, 6 years old, 120 proof. That was our second place. I like the bottle on the Hainer Distilling Company out of Ohio, yeah. But yeah, that JT Melik, man, what can you do? What can you do? Straight fire, man. Absolute bomb of a whiskey. Holy cow. Thank you so much, everybody, for your submissions. Let me grab Glass D here. This was our JT Melik. Fully, it's a rice spirit coming out of Louisiana. If you've never had a chance to try JT Melik before, you have to do it. Like, you absolutely have to do it. I do not really care for rice spirits in general. I've never been like a big sake guy. I've given it many a try, and I've just decided it's not my thing. But this is just different. It's just different. I don't know if it's the Louisiana heat. I don't know if it's just the way that JT Melik does things on the farm. I don't know what it is. What's the difference maker? I'm not sure. But whatever it is, it's straight freaking fire. And JT Melik is taking the gold. Man, these are some great submissions. Thank you so much, everybody, for your contributions to this blind. It's cool to have. So the states that were represented, we had Nevada, California, Ohio, Texas, Oregon, Missouri, Louisiana, and Indiana. Man, this is a great lineup of whiskeys. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate y'all. But JT Melik takes the gold. So that means Venelar in our Discord, a.k.a. Greg, thank you so much for the JT Melik. I owe you a glass. So we'll get that printed up. I'll talk to you. I'll reach out to you on the Discord, and we'll find out where to send that to. Give us a couple weeks to get it etched and all that business. But thank you so much. With that, we say cheers, my friends. May you live richly and get better with age. And I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.